God is the center of my life, and it made a huge difference on how I see things, how I do things. People are entrusting you with their biggest assets.
Yes.
People are entrusting you with one of their biggest decisions in their lives. It's important to take that seriously, and you need to be passionate about what you do, about building relationships and providing value. And if you're in it for the money, maybe it's not the right business. It's a short-term thing, and you're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
You're gonna crash and burn. It's having that combination of, okay, I have all these ideas. He now then executes it and makes sure it gets done, and then I bring in more ideas.
Welcome, everyone. This is Randy Dyck on the Return on Life podcast. This is not about the ROI. It is about the ROL, Return on Life. And I have an amazing guest with me today, Katrina Amurao. And she's been an amazing agent since 2004. That's when she was licensed. But over the years, she's built one of the best and strongest teams in the entire world. Katrina is an amazing woman with an amazing family, children, loving husband, and we're going to dive into some really great topics today when it comes to the game of real estate. Welcome here, Katrina.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming here. I'm really, really excited and honored and thrilled to be in your podcast, Randy.
Well, we've got lots to go through today. We're going to talk about real estate, of course, team, leadership, life, even family and spirituality, if you'd like to do that. But we've got lots of great topics to talk about today.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'll do my best to share what I can.
Great, great. You know, when you think of return on life, let's just start there. When you think of return on life, because that's what the podcast is really about, and you think of real estate, life, your family, spirituality, all of that, what comes to your mind when you think about return on life?
The first thing that comes to mind to me is purpose. Really, like the return on life is what really is my purpose, what really is your purpose, and why am I doing this? What's the point of it all, right? So purpose is really important in life, and I think that's what you get in return is, you know, if you have a purpose, you get a very, very bountiful and fruitful life.
Yeah, purpose is the magic that makes us get up in the morning, so to speak. Because without purpose, you know, there's not much point in getting out of bed.
Yeah.
And then we have what I call CBS, cozy bed syndrome.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to get up when you don't have any purpose. Yes.
But you don't have cozy bed syndrome. I know that because you're up early, you're at the gym, you're doing all the things, you're doing many, many things even before you get to the office. Maybe share with our listeners what your schedule looks like out of the gate in the morning.
So, yes, we do get up really early in the morning, do our prayer. I drink my 2 cups of hot water, go to the gym in our basement, and then get the kids ready for school. Then we go to church every day and drop the kids off to school when there's school, if it's a school day. And then we go to the office. We go about our day. We do our best to be intentional about our days, and then make sure that we are done before the kids start their activities in the afternoon, because we are Uber in the afternoon. So around 3 o'clock, we pick them up. If sometimes it's our sister-in-law who picks them up, but for the most part, we drive them to their activities. And then at night, we do another set of workout, either cardio. Me and Neil actually work out together. We spend a lot of time together as husband and wife, as business partners. And at night, we have dinner together as a family, do our workout. So depending on how our kids' schedule and activity is and how our, you know, all their sports is going, if they have anything to attend to. And then we wrap up the day listening to Bible in a Year podcast. And then also during the day in the car, we listen to a lot of podcasts that's related to our spiritual life and growth in our spiritual life. And then, you know, review our day, plan the next day, and then repeat, rinse, and repeat. Every day, boring life. We have our life is pretty kind of like the same thing every day, except for Sunday when we spend more time together as a family.
Well, it sounds like, you know, you talked about intentional. That is very, very intentional. and very, very disciplined. And discipline is such an important thing, not only in real estate, but in life. And you've brought those two together to have that much discipline and that much intention on how you manage your day. Discipline, has that always been something that has been part of your world, or is that something that you've grown into, having this intentional discipline in your life?
Well, I guess we always evolve, we always get better. I'm more of a free-spirited person, really. For the most part, I guess I don't plan anything, yet I like to have the structure, right? So, I mean, I don't plan anything in a way that I like to be spontaneous as well. But it's kind of weird to see that as spontaneous as I like to be, I have a very structured lifestyle. So over time, when I was growing up and being very free spirit, if I may say, I learned that I can still be free by being structured. So within those times that I have, I can do whatever I want. When I'm at work, I can focus on what I want, and then it gives me the freedom to do all the other things I need to do when I've done all the other things that I did during the structured time. Did that make sense? I'm like, I kind of just got
does,
lost
but
there.
it's a bit of an interesting combination because the discipline, yet the freedom to kind of be spontaneous doesn't always work for most people, and you've made it work. And not just work, but I mean, you've got a team of how many agents right now?
We have 47 realtors in our team and 23 support staff.
Wow.
So there's 70 of us right now.
Incredible. And so to keep the discipline and the spontaneity in that, but on top of that, then you're also producing 400-500 sales every year.
That's
pretty
the plan,
incredible. 400 million, 500 million in sales a year. Unbelievable. And do you think that that spontaneous side of you has helped you build this incredible company that you call Katrina and the team?
It did, absolutely. And it's also a combination of me and Neil. For the most part, I'm the one, my role in the team is I'm the visionary. I am the one who comes up with all the ideas and the spontaneous stuff that I like to, to bring to the team. And then Neil is the one who works on making sure we execute it and finds all the things that could go wrong, because we have two different personalities. We're the exact opposite. And so I'm like the one who's spontaneous. He plans every single thing. So it's a partnership. So we're not only partners in life, we're partners in business and in partners in, raising our children. Our different personalities help us make this team a bigger team, help this team help more people and make a positive impact in people's lives. It's having that combination of, okay, I have all these ideas. He now then executes it and make sure it gets done. And then I bring in more ideas and I throw, it's just, there was a time it was friction because it's like, we needed to evolve. We needed to learn each other's personalities, although we've been together since I started real estate. But it's more of understanding that these two needed to be together in order. We can't be the same. We can't be both visionaries. We can't both be integrators, implementers, because it needs to be the yin and the yang. Yeah. Right? So, it's not just me. It's a team effort.
We should have Neil sitting here
absolutely
and filling in on his piece. But, a lot of people say they can't work with their spouse. And you said there's a little bit of friction there at one point.
Yeah.
How did you work through that? What was the systems, the protocol? How did you work through some of those friction pieces and then create what you have today, which is the Katrina and the team, which is, the spectacular real estate team?
Well, we're still continuing to evolve, but there's always room for growth. For us, it's always being committed. We've had huge frictions. We've had every day there's still friction. It's part of life. It's part of being with other people. It's not always going to be, sunshine and butterfly. There's sometimes storm, and which lets you appreciate the good days, right? Yeah. And so when we navigate through the friction, it makes us stronger.
Right.
And the friction comes from, everything working together. It is not easy. I mean, our desks are opposite each other here. but it allowed us to become better together and allowed us to be able to grow the team together. So some examples of the friction is like, okay, for the business part is like, I like to do things a certain way and he likes to do things a certain way. So it's learning how we can use both ways of doing things and getting the best out of each and combining it. And knowing that one is not better than the other, but two together is what's better.
Right.
Right? It's not a competition. The biggest advice I got before Neil became a realtor, I was a realtor first. A year later, he got licensed.
Right.
And I got a lot of people telling me, no, don't do that. It's not a good idea. I mean, new in the business. I was only 1 year. I was young. We were in our early 20s. We were not married yet. We got engaged after me being 1 year in the business. But a lot of people said, no, not a good idea. A lot of marriage or a lot of relationships break down because competition and all that. But my coach at that time told me, well, he is your biggest supporter. He's your partner. You both intend to be married and be together. So who better to help you than your spouse? And, we were joking about, like, please don't call yourself spouses selling houses. But at the end of the day, it worked out really well. And we navigated through those challenging times. And the fact that we committed to not giving up. And I have to give credit to Neil because he was the one who was really super committed to making sure there was a time I already gave up. More of my ego, more of my
When you say
give up on our relationship.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
We built the team. We were in the process of building. We were already successful as a husband and wife realtors at that time. But, we were growing. And the stress of growing the team.
Yes.
And also the pressure from our social life. Because at that time, we already called the team Katrina and the team. And then we had a lot of things to work on ourselves. So number one, we didn't give up. He didn't really give up in a way that he really made sure that we stayed together. And our faith kept us together. The right people that stayed with us as our friends allowed us to be able to do that. And we started eliminating people who are not supporting that. And also just having the other support, like coaches, like, mentors who guided us through the process, allowed us to stay together. And because we stayed together, we were able to make this team a better team.
Wow.
So there's a lot to it. Like, from, my ego, his part of people telling him, why are you letting her be the front of the team? Why are you letting her name and face be on your car? All that, plus us working on ourselves. I needed to work on me. He needed to work on himself. We needed to love ourselves individually, and then we could love each other more. And we can actually be stronger. Our faith became stronger. Our spiritual life continues to grow. And then also understanding that we're different people.
Wow.
Understanding that life is not about making him become me, or, people do things because of them, not because of me. Like, there are things like, because he's so organized, it's like, you just want to make my life miserable. Like, I'm not going to be as organized as you. But it's understanding. Not everything is about me. Not everything is about him. But people do things because of themselves, right? I mean, I know that's kind of like complicated for some, but...
Well, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
There's a lot to unpack there. And for the listeners, there's something there. There's many, many, many nuggets in that you need to unpack. The first one was building a team. A lot of people think building a team is easy and two friends get together because they like hanging out with each other. But when it comes to business, they really, really struggle with that. And I see so many individuals and agents get together and build a team, and it's 1, 2, 3 years and they just they don't even like each other at the end because they're too much alike. And what you shared is that you and Neil are quite different in how you think, your gifts, your talents, and then they come together as the yin and the yang in the business, and that really helped you grow it. But then you even unpacked, here's another thing, listeners, about ego and how we let our egos interrupt growth. Because we want us to win rather than, or ourselves to win rather than us to win. So many great things there that you shared with us, Katrina. Am I missing anything?
It's about like being right. I mean, we were both right.
Yes.
It's about being right, or sometimes just getting into the emotions of things. But maturity comes with it when, when you just know that you're working for the same team and you're working towards the same goal.
Right.
Does it really matter if he's more right than I am more right? You're both right, but it's just a different way of looking at things. But we learn to be able to also express ourselves clearly and be able to do it with respect, because I have a strong personality and I like to make sure I've been heard. And then he's quiet, but he's very talented, and he needs to be able to express himself too, because like you said, like we were saying, we need both, and we need to be able to express ourselves without worrying that the other one will get upset, that the other one will get offended. So it's like, with respect, we argue respectfully and just and something good always comes out of it. And yes, it's not hey, this is gonna be fun, and there's a lot of difficult decisions, difficult conversations to be had throughout, the process, growing a team, growing as a person, growing as a couple. It's navigating through those difficult conversations.
What is Neil's greatest gift from your perspective for the team and for yourself? Because they're kind of maybe two different things, but it's interesting. You've got husband, wife, partners working together, building a team. And sometimes we don't even see our own gifts. What's Neil's greatest gift to the Katrina and the team?
Neil's greatest gift to Katrina and the team would be his patience, his ability to look at the things that could go wrong, and also his ability to break things down into smaller pieces and explain it in a way that is easy to understand and that someone can learn from. So he's great. He's the one who teaches our team. He's the one who teaches our great Agent Excellence program, which is our onboarding program. So he's very patient. He's a great teacher. He is very organized. Like, his thought process is like, very organized. Where in me, I'm like in every place. I jump from different places. Sometimes it's hard to catch my own thoughts, but it's that we needed in order for another realtor in our team to be able to learn and grow.
What would you say Neil would say is your greatest gift?
Well, him. He's a great gift to me, but I think he would say that me being just free-spirited, like just having all these ideas, because it used to drive him crazy. Yeah. Well, it still drives him crazy, but we learn to accept the different things that drives each other crazy, because it's also what helps us grow.
Yes.
So,
so you're the gas pedal and he's the brake.
Yes. Yes.
Which you need both to drive a car.
Correct.
Which is really future-proofing. That's really future-proofing when you can have both of those in the same vehicle or the same team, which is really special.
It's really important. It's important to have that. And that's what makes it different too, because it's not just two realtors who work together and then, okay, let's just produce more. It's like, we created systems and processes. We duplicated the things that we know that helped us grow and documented everything. So then anyone joining our team can duplicate it, learn from it, and execute it.
Keyword, duplicatable. Everything we need and do needs to be duplicatable.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It needs to be, because it's hard to scale, it's hard to grow if you're just going to keep it to yourself, or if you're not able to document and if it's not duplicatable. You know, if I were to, and that's how we are able to live the life we want to live, is because we are open to allowing people to, you know, learn from what we're doing and duplicate the things that I'm doing. And it wasn't easy for me. Like when Neil sat me down, it's like, okay, you have to sit down. We have to document everything you do. And I get fidgety, and I'm like,
Are we done yet?
Yeah. And then I'm like, didn't you just read my mind? It's like there, you know, because I can't articulate everything that I'm doing. I'm more of watch me do it, follow me, and then you can document it.
Yeah.
But he needed to unpack some of the thought process in the things that I'm doing. So he really, like, I remember this in our old home, we sat down in our dining room and really, like, it was painful. But pain is what makes us grow.
Right.
Right? So for me, when I did that, Neil was able to pull it out of me. And then we were able to document the process. Then we created a listing process, because that's my specialty. I love to list homes. But I can't do it alone, because I wanted to be able to be a mom to my children, be a wife to my husband, be a servant of God, serve the church, and also still show up to the office and still be there for my clients. But I can't be everywhere. I only have 24 hours in a day. So for us to do it, we needed to document everything, systematize everything, and go through that hard, it felt like a year. It's only 2 days that they had to sit me down and really, and it was evolving, because like there are things you don't really remember, but they asked me questions, and I don't like being asked too many questions. I feel like I'm being interrogated. And so I just did my best, went through the process, do the things that are uncomfortable to grow. So yeah, it's the same thing as working out. Like, it's like, who's really excited about lifting weights, but then the feeling of that you get after is what really makes it worth your while.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of an analogy between baking and cooking. You know, it's the same kitchen that we do both in. And cooking, you can kind of like play with it and taste it along the way. But baking, it's got to be precise, because if you don't do it precise, the cake flops.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I see Neil as being the baker in the kitchen, and you might be the cook.
Yes.
Just like, let's try this, let's try that.
Yeah.
And so that's a great way to look at it. You said we. Now, we sat down. Do you have a coach, and was a coach helping you and Neil through that process?
Yeah. So over the last almost 20 years, like 19 years in the business, 20th this November, we've had coaches. We've evolved, different coaches in different stages in our career, different stages in where we are in the business. Right now, our coach is John Chaplack. So he's been our coach since 2019, and he really allowed us to look beyond where we were, and also he allowed us to see what else is out there. I mean, there's just it's such a big world. Before we met him, we were in this, like, we were in Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, and, like, you know, we hit number 1, and we're like, okay, that's awesome, that's it. We've made
conquered
it.
the mountain.
Yeah.
We've climbed Everest.
Yeah. And then we kind of like,
You knocked me off.
oh, well, it was a tough battle, I would say. I mean, it's different stages, right?
Yes.
We really work hard to get there, and when we did, it didn't really feel like we were fulfilled, but there was still something. Like, I'm like, we can do better. There's something. That's why we seek outside of Metro Vancouver. We went outside to see what else is out there. And oh my, it's such a big world. We thought, like, you know, we were riding on a high. Finally, we've been working so hard to get here. We were number 1. We've helped like over 200 families at that time. And then it was a whole new world, like seeing that, oh my gosh, there's other teams that are like doing thousands of transactions and making a bigger impact. And it's not about the money, because at the end of the day, you know, we kind of felt like, okay, we're living the lifestyle. We're living a lifestyle that we're not I used to, but at the end of the day, it's not about it. It's not about the money. It's about like, do we feel really fulfilled? Because like, we're working so hard, and the goal of being number one is there, but so what? I mean, yeah, okay, you're number one, you've made impact in people's lives, but are you living the life you wanted to live? Are your kids seeing you? And so we look outside of our
Sounds like
little world.
return on life you're
Return
looking
on
for.
life, yes, yes. So I mean, it's a process, right? For us, making God the center of our lives, just being aware of that made a huge difference, in our personal lives, in our lives as spouses, husband and wife, our parenting, our business.
Has that always been a foundation, or did that change over the course of the year about your relationship with God and spirituality?
No, it's so before this, and I know this was
And
this.
by the way, I'm a Christian, and I'm all about faith, and everybody's got their journey of faith.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm a believer of Jesus Christ and a Christian, so I want you to know that.
Yeah, no, and I'm Catholic. I'm a cradle Catholic. I was born, raised Catholic. I was still like seeing things differently. And if I may share, is it okay if I share
Yes.
how I because this is a big part of.
That's why I'm asking, because I know it's a big part.
It is a big part. Without it, we wouldn't be where we are. It's really realizing that God is the center of my life, and it made a huge difference on how I see things, how I do things, how I look at how my life was, and then sharing that with Neil, and then us sharing it together. It used to be that we segment our lives. So we look at our life, this is whole pie. This is my business life. This is my marriage life. This is my parenting life. This is my social life. This is my spiritual life. So it's a pie. And then my spiritual life is just a piece of the pie. God was just a piece of the pie. It was the Sunday, right? It was my Sunday. Okay, it's Sunday. It's God's Sunday. I do my daily prayer, and then as a Catholic, I pray the rosary. But not having something was missing. I'm always chasing. I'm always doing something that was like, okay, well, let's just do more deals. Let's just help more people. Let's just make more money. But and also I still had this insecurity. I still had this thing that I'm not good enough. I still have this thing in my heart that I'm like, I'm not worthy. And then when I discovered that the missing piece, and sometimes my English as second language shows up with my accent, so bear with me. But the missing piece was the fact that I wasn't making God as the center of my life, meaning everything that I do is because of the purpose I have in life, is to be the best child of God I can be. And that I don't need to be seen, or need to be, I don't need to please everybody. A lot of people are people pleasers. As realtors, it's like we want to please our clients, right? We do, but ultimately, to me, I want to do my best for my clients, because I know God entrusted me with their biggest purchase or biggest sale. And so it's like having that and doing everything because I know God put me in this world to make a difference in people's lives, made a big difference. And that everything I do is because God brought this person, God brought us here together today to make it for something. There's a reason, there's a purpose for everything.
There's a reason,
right?
Yes.
And then that gave me a better sense of my worthiness, that I'm worthy because God loves me, that I don't need to be pretending to be someone else. I am created by God in His own image, and I am here because He loves me. I'm loved. I don't need to be. God loves you. God loves me. We're all created by God, and I don't need to be pretending to be someone else. Because that's the challenge with a lot of people, is that they, and that was my challenge, because I'm always thinking, I'm like, oh, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Oh, I'm this whole imposter syndrome, right? Like we try to be someone else because we're trying to be worthy of our client's business.
Right.
My thing is, did I do my best? Did I give it my best shot? Did I surrender and allow my best self to just show up and give my best to my clients? And if people make decisions based on what they see and feel that's best for them, If I didn't articulate it, then it's on me to realize that. But also, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe God has a different plan. Maybe that whole purpose of us meeting is not about me earning someone's listings or business. Maybe the whole purpose of us meeting was something else. And so, sorry, I kind of like diverge into this whole different angle, but it to me that's my purpose, and that's why we are where we are. And it's not about being the number one team. It's great. It's good to be acknowledged. It's we're proud to be able to do the work we do, and it's the purpose is to make a bigger impact in people's lives.
That was awesome.
Oh,
thanks for
you.
sharing.
Sorry, I kind of like blabbered there.
No, that was really awesome. Relationships. It's always about relationships, and it's relationship with our maker, our creator. But it's how we can impact others through what we do. And that's so important. And we have the opportunity as real estate agents to be in many, many homes. We see people where they're at. And where they're at is often significantly different than what appears from the outside. And it sounds like you've been in many homes. I've been in many homes where what appeared was not what was real. And in that real moment, some incredible things happened, created, were worked through, and not the sale of the house.
No.
Changing somebody's life.
It is. It's impacting them in a way that you never thought you would. It's not just about the sale. It's not about the sale. If you and we share this with the team. Focus on the process. Just your goal is to help them. If you're focused on selling it, you're not going to sell it. It's an uphill grind. Yeah. And that's what help us have peace of mind no matter what. We have peace of mind because we just surrender and just allow ourselves to focus on helping and meeting the clients where they're at, meeting the people that comes our way where they're at, and helping them make the right decision for themselves.
Awesome. Hey, let's transition a little bit. Let's go into maybe a little bit more about the team, the journey. Where do you think, Katrina, the team is going to go, or is this already reached the pinnacle of where you think you're going to go? Do you have some bigger ideas, some bigger ventures? Where are we heading as Katrina and the team?
Well, we're just beginning. We're just getting started. Yeah, we're just getting started. We just settled into our new office.
And it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful.
We are excited that this has come together. We never thought, we thought it was just our imagination, but it came to reality. Now it's here. It's just the beginning, because now that it's here, it gives us an environment, the resources to be able to help more people.
Right.
So our team, we're continuing to grow. We're looking to grow even more, because now that we have a space to do it, it's just the beginning. So, I mean, there's a lot in store. We've looked at a lot of things to grow the team in different ways, but it's really how we can impact more people's lives in a positive way. It's awesome. A lot. It's kind of scary, but we know.
I think you're up for it. I think you're up for scary stuff.
We believe God has a plan. So we believe that this is part of the journey and part of what we're here for.
And you've recently transitioned. Well, actually, it's not so recent. You're coming up to your 1-year anniversary with EXP. And how has EXP impacted all of what you do?
Well, EXP's impacted all of what I do because EXP is very agent-centric. And so it allowed me to EXP allowed me to do the things that I've been wanting to do. I mean, it was when I started real estate, I didn't really, young, I was like in my early 20s. And what I wanted to have is a brokerage. Then,
me too.
You too.
In fact, I opened my own brokerage and found out how challenging and difficult and not so rewarding it was.
Yeah, there's a lot. And so it was a couple years ago when I'm like, okay, I think we're ready to have our own brokerage. We've grown enough. We've allowed ourselves to be in a position where we can actually open our own brokerage. And I started taking the course, and I'm like, I don't really like this. I'm not into it. And then Neil's taking the course, but I mean, at the end of the day, EXP allowed us to achieve that owning a brokerage dream without having to have that huge responsibility of owning a brokerage. Because why? I mean, it's all, if we can have the resources there with having EXP and still have the idea of a brokerage in our team. We love our team, and we like the team setup versus, a brokerage. It's a totally different, well, it's similar, but it's different, right? So yeah, EXP allowed us to become an owner of the brokerage without
brokerage within the brokerage.
Exactly. Without having to have that huge responsibility. Not that I'm scared of responsibility. I'm not scared of responsibility. But why take on something that you don't need to take on, where you can use that energy and resources to impact more people's lives or grow more, right?
Good
so
point.
That's the whole, to me, 1 year. Yeah, we've been 1 year.
And I think a lot of people start a brokerage because they have that thought in mind. They want to help and serve and build other people up through the brokerage and give leadership to these agents. Yet they get bogged down, I think, with all the responsibility, the liability, the back room stuff, and they don't have the time to serve the people that they wanted to serve.
Yeah.
And this is the beautiful thing about EXP. You get the best part of ownership, which is serving and helping agents become better at what they do. And you don't have to worry about the back end of all that minutia that's going on.
Exactly. And do the things that we are passionate about, waking up and being excited to do every day, rather. Yeah. I mean, and also the responsibility is huge. And I'm glad that, this is a shared responsibility, right? And we're able to still do what we want to do.
Awesome. Running a team is challenging. Just no doubt. There's just no ands if or buts about it.
Yeah.
It's got lots of challenges. What are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing today in running, managing, and being a productive team? What are some of the biggest challenges that you face today?
One would be helping someone really be intentional and focused and producing and making sure that joining a team is not just a magic pill. Like, hey, I joined a team. I'm successful now. No, I joined a team to allow myself to be in an environment when I can grow and be the best realtor I can be for my clients.
Right.
And so it's just helping people and meeting them where they're at as realtors. As the challenge is, it's a golden handcuff. People think, oh, I'm a realtor, I'm free. Like, I don't have to worry about going to work 9 to 5. But that's also a curse because, you need to be structured. I shared my structure, and that's something that's really important. Showing up at the office, in our case, we're blessed to have an office. Showing up at the office and treating this as a job and as a passion, it's really important to have those structure.
Right.
But sometimes people have this different perception about realtors. It's like, yeah, I can work in my PJs. Well, yeah, you can, but you want to be successful, you might want to show up as a successful person.
Yes.
Right? And so it's helping people see that. It's helping people also see themselves beyond what their original thought of what they can do. Because we see people that have so much potential, but they don't see it themselves. It's a human behavior, human behavior business. It's meeting people where they're at and helping them see beyond what they can see.
Yeah. Back in 1992 when I started, I'm dating myself now, but I was shocked of agents' schedule, because I would show up at 8 o'clock like I was punching a clock, and I was treating it like a job. And I wouldn't leave the office until I had an appointment, or it was 6 o'clock. And And my whole game was, how do I get an appointment today? How do I meet with somebody, show a house, get a listing appointment? That was everything I did all day long. And I was just shocked at the schedules that most agents kept.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think if most agents were managed by somebody, and the manager could hire and fire depending on their work ethic and the amount of time they put into it, most agents would get fired on about week 1 or 2.
Yeah, yeah.
So very important. And that's what I think the beauty of being on a team and having a team is that you're accountable as an agent.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, we hold our team partners, and we call them our partners because we're in this together. It's a partnership. It's not just a team pouring in, oh, it's the leads. A lot of people join a team thinking you're going to give me leads. Is it really about the leads, or is it about your conversion and your habits and the work you put in? And it's not just, are you being intentional about the work you put in? Are you holding yourself accountable? And so we create that environment. Neil holds an accountability, self-regulated accountability sessions. It's a 6-week program, which we run every 6 weeks. And the team partners who are successful are the ones who participate in that. And the ones who wants to be held accountable are the ones we see successful. And the ones who think this is a magic pill and that we do have a lot of leads. Everyone has more leads than what they think. It's just they don't convert, they don't nurture, they don't build the relationships, and they're not held accountable. You know, I mean, we're here to lead and guide our clients. We're not here to tell them what to do. And at the end of the day, yes, we give them all the resources, but you know, it's just wanting to be held accountable, willing to do the hard work, and just really trusting the process.
Yes.
Knowing that these systems and processes are there because it's been proven. You joined our team because we shared the same values. You know, our team, our core values is that we're team players, we're solution focused, we're compassionate, we're grateful, and I can't remember the last one. We're team focused. Okay, now I'm gonna get in trouble. Like team player, solution. Oh, humbly confident. Humbly confident.
I like that.
Yeah.
I call it respectfully jealous.
Yeah. That's a good way to see it too.
What's the future of real estate? What's the future of real estate as we know it today? What's the future of a real estate agent? Is there going to be less agents, more teams, bigger teams? Where do you see real estate going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, in order to survive or to be able to be successful in real estate, I think the team setup is where it makes it more feasible and doable. I mean, there are people who will always be solo agents, and that's fine. It's like the boutique. You know, there's a boutique hotel and there's the big chain hotel, right? Both works. Future of real estate, I mean, it's about building relationships. I mean, with this ever-evolving landscape of real estate. I mean, most recently, this whole lawsuit thing in the US. I mean, I don't pay too much attention, but I need to know. I'm just aware, and I know it's good to be informed. But it's just a proven thing that it's important to be able to bring value to people's lives. Real estate, people think that realtors just make big money and sell homes.
Don't they? Come on, don't they? Everybody's making $1 million a year, aren't they?
Oh yeah, how much are they spending, right? So at the end of the day, we need to be able to bring value to people's lives. You know, we can't just be like seen as like, you know, okay, I mean, people do things differently, but some people, you know, may be flashier than others. But I mean, it's not about that. It's not about the money. If they become a realtor because they think it's easy money, they're not going to last. You know, we've seen that happen.
Oh, yeah.
When people tell me, oh, yeah, I know, I'm going to be a realtor because I just need to sell one house and I'm good for the month and I just have to relax and go to the beach. People are entrusting you with their biggest assets.
Yes.
People are entrusting you with one of their biggest decisions in their lives. It's important to take that seriously. And you need to be passionate about what you do, about building relationships and providing value. And if you're in it for the money, maybe it's not the right business. It's a short-term thing. And you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
You're going to crash and burn.
So true. There's always a lot of changes happening in real estate. We've seen so many changes in the British Columbia marketplace in the last 5-6 years with regulation and all that changes. But this NER settlement is also going to change things significantly again. And, now 32 years in the business, there's always things that come along and it seems to light people's hair on fire. They all get, oh man, this is it's gonna change everything. We're not gonna be able to do business and it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
And I always say, no. If you see it as being horrible, it will be horrible. Yeah. If you see this as an opportunity, you'll find the opportunity. So even with the NAR settlement, if that goes through and it ends up being in Canada as well, I see it as an opportunity.
Huge. Yeah, it's a huge opportunity to be able to showcase our value. It's an opportunity to really, for us, be able to help more people. Because to me, it will eliminate some of the ones who are just in it just because it's a quick paycheck or whatever. I'll make more money. It eliminates that. It will focus on the people who are seeing the value, and you have to be able to articulate the value you bring to the marketplace.
Absolutely. So for you listeners, if you're a buyer's agent, you're heavily in buyer's agent, this is your opportunity to really set yourself apart from all the others, because so many buyer's agents are buyer's agents just because it's easy. People just go, well, I'll see the house with whoever can show it to me in this minute or this moment. But if the NER settlement goes through and every buyer needs to have a buyer's agent to even open a door, now there's value proposition that's going to be either horrible, or you can have a great value proposition that people are going to find their way to you as a buyer's agent as well, just like as a listing agent. And by the way, I know you're a listing specialist.
Yeah, I am. But we are I started as first year in real estate. I did majority of my first year's business as a buyer's agent, and we started a lot of our business by helping buyers. When I started real estate, I was new in the country, 6 years. I really had this accent, and I was only in my early 20s. So, it was mostly buyers that I worked with. But based on that experience, we grew, and Neil, because of Neil's personality, we started as Neil being the buyer's agent, me as the listing agent. But we created a system where we provide value, that people seek our help, even if they have to pay us separately. At the end of the day, that we don't know where this is going. We kind of have an idea based on what's happening in the States, but the value we bring to the table is really important, and we start that. So for us, this is actually where we're this is what we've been doing for the last 19
built for
years.
This.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
Are built for this, yes.
We don't just open doors. We do make sure our clients are making an informed decision, and they know their options. They know what's best for them. They see more than what they think there is out there for them. And it really brings value. It's just it's not just opening doors. It's more, it's 25, 30 years of mortgage payments, right? So it's really important to know.
That's a good way to
have
put it.
Someone, to have someone guide you through that and not make a bad decision. It's important. So that as realtors, it's really important to bring value. As a buyer's agent, we're always big on making sure that you're guiding your clients. In our team, the buyer's agents, you're guiding them and giving them the value from the get-go.
Yeah.
We're not just door openers. We don't just show homes.
No.
That's a big, people think that's all we do. That's why people have this negative perception about realtors and about how we get paid too much to open doors.
That's going to change.
Yeah.
That is changing, and it's going to continue to change. Leadership. Let's go to leadership a little bit. You're a great leader. Do you have anybody that's influenced your leadership style, the way you lead your team? Is there an individual, a book? What has kind of guided you when it comes to leadership?
Leading like Jesus. Lead without a title. Just looking at things from a position of, I'm here to help you, and I'm not your boss. I always have to correct people because they're like, oh, this is my boss. And I'm like, and now I feel bossy. But it's more
So
of,
what would you like your agents to call you then? A partner?
well, I'm
A
their
boss?
partner. I'm their,
A friend?
I'm still the leader, but I'm not their boss.
Okay.
They're their boss. I mean, they're their own boss, right? I lead them where they want to be, and also I allow them to see where they can be. We allow them to see where they can be. It's not just me. Neil and I hold each other accountable and being great leaders to our team partners. And so, it's leading with a purpose, knowing that it's not about me and I don't know it all. And that we need to understand that people behave and act the way they do because of certain things, not because of me. And there's always a reason, and there's always a way for us to be able to lead them. And it's just a matter of, what does God want me to do right now? I mean, it always goes back to leading without a title. That's a book I read, and Lead Like Jesus.
Has anything held you back in the past from finding that leadership lane, the success, and maybe not, but can you think of anything, or maybe a crucible moment, a moment that you went, man, this changed me or changed the direction I was going? I speak a little bit about it in the book that I gave you, Ignite Your Purpose.
But this is awesome. Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
I mean, has anybody or has anything, it's always been, I mean, I'm an immigrant. I migrated here when I was 17 with my family. I've always been a free spirit. So when my parents told us we're going to Canada.
Where'd you come from?
We came from the Philippines.
Philippines, okay.
So I was born and raised in the Philippines. I went to the school in the Philippines, went to university there. And then when we moved here, because of the different schooling, I mean, I started over, but I was going to be, well, I don't know if I would have made it, but my parents wanted me to be a doctor. Not even close, because I'm not really, I'm not in the health field for a reason. But it's really just that immigrant mindset. That, anything is possible. Coming from a third world country, I mean, in the Philippines, my family is okay. It's not like, I had a great life in the Philippines. That, my parents, I was in a bubble. I mean, I grew up in a small town. My parents provided me and my siblings with everything that we needed and more. My dad was a doctor in the Philippines. Then we moved here for different reasons, the safety, and mainly safety. I mean, a few months before we moved here, we were just coming here to visit. But a few months before we moved here, I was robbed. And then our house got broken into. It was just like, and then there's a threat of kidnapping and all that. It's very predominant in the Philippines at that time. I don't know now, it's been a while, but for safety. And for me, it's like to get away from going into med school, because it's not my thing, right? So I wanted to start over, start fresh. And so when we came here, it was very like, oh, I can be whoever I want to be here. It's a different country. It's a different way of life. And I can do the things that I needed to do, what I wanted to do, without having to worry about what people say, because it's different culturally. It's different there. And so I was able to really get out of my shell and be me. The immigrant mindset. My mom's always been an entrepreneurial type of person, so that's how I kind of got my entrepreneurial spirit. When I was young, I was already selling things at school, and good things. I was selling stationery, creating things to sell, and that's always been my thing. So yeah. That's I kind of got. What was the question?
Well, were some of the crucible moments, but what I heard, and listeners, you really need to think about this: an immigrant mindset. I've met so many immigrants that have come to Canada and made such an incredible life, where so many that are second, third, fourth generation Canadians just squander this amazing opportunity they have in this country of Canada or in North America. And to have the mindset of an immigrant, I think, is really, really powerful. Really powerful. Let's close this out before we go to the speed round. One final question. If there's one thing that you could tell our listeners that if they could just do this one thing to either turn the corner or create a better life, not just real estate, but better life, what would it be? Is there one thing that you would share with our listeners?
What comes to mind right now, the first thing that comes to mind is that you're worthy. You are worthy. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe you're worthy, that you are born to do what your heart tells you to do. God planted that desire in your heart, and that you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you want to do. Believe that you're capable and you're worthy.
I love that. And I would even add to that, forgive yourself.
Yes.
Because we hold ourselves to such a high level. Sometimes we can't free ourselves of whatever is holding us down. So we need to forgive ourselves as well.
We need to forgive ourselves in a way that get over it and do the next right thing.
Yes.
Because sometimes we're like, okay, I'm going to forgive myself. And then just like, okay, I'm just going to whatever.
Yeah.
No, I mean, forgive yourself in a way that, okay, well, what's the next best thing that I can do?
Yeah. I have a saying, trust in yourself, forgive yourself, and then let go. Trust, forgive, let go.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's go into some speed round questions.
Should have watched some of your podcasts so I know these speed round questions. Now I'm like, I'm scared.
Oh, don't be scared. They're not that challenging. So you and Neil, your family, fine dining, Uber Eats, takeout, or a home-cooked meal. What would you have?
All of the above. We love all of the above. So we get a variety. I mean, fine dining, we love fine dining every now and then. We love home-cooked meal. I started really being passionate about feeding my family in the last 6 months.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, because on my health journey.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't even touch the health journey, but I mean, the health journey alone, I mean, I enjoy it more. It used to be like, I can just Uber Eats, I can just eat out, right? But now it's like, I enjoy it. So we do everything.
By the way, you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Fabulous. And I know you're on a crazy health journey that has not only changed, your physicality, but I probably changed you mentally as well.
Mentally, yes, absolutely. That's the whole point. I got into this health journey because people my goal, if you haven't heard me say it before, I wanted to have a six-pack. It's not about the six-pack. It's the journey to having a six-pack. It's the mindset. It's how it will extend, like how it will push me and stretch me mentally.
Discipline.
The discipline.
Yeah.
And so, we do all. We love, it depends on what we need at that time. Like this morning, I have to admit, because I'm like, okay, I gave myself the extra hour of sleep because I know I needed it. Something came up late last night that we needed to deal with. So guess what? My kids are in the spring break. They're having Uber Eats for breakfast. Actually, I have to check. Did they eat? I haven't checked my phone. Yeah.
Every once in a while, we have to have CBS, cozy bed syndrome.
Yes.
Cozy bed syndrome. What's your favorite band?
Oh my.
Or a group, band, song?
Ooh. Well, what comes to mind is that band that played at the Fraser Valley Medallion. They're so good. Every year I look forward. Famous players.
Famous players. They were very good.
They're a local band. My dream is to have an event where they play.
Do I get an invite?
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What would you prefer, text, phone, email, or face-to-face?
Depends.
It depends.
It depends. Depends on what it is. For the most part, I like text because it allows me to triage things. So then I know if I want a face-to-face, phone, or email.
Right on.
Yeah, the text is what the triage, right? So.
Okay, audio or book?
Audio.
Audio, okay.
Audio, yeah.
This is a bit of a tricky question. Last question. If you were a scratch and sniff sticker, you were a scratch and sniff sticker and I rubbed your shoulder, what would I smell? And this is a bit about who you are.
Oh my gosh.
Should I go first? I
You
share
go
this all the
first.
time.
You go first.
So I'm like the sea breeze, sand, pina colada, because my wife and I, Jolene, love being at the beach with beach people. So that just reminds me of the beach. So if you scratched me, I would be the sea breeze, pina colada, and a bit of sand.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question because I really don't know my scents. Like it's more of like a spicy because I'm a little bit spicy in a way that I'm not floral, but I like floral scent. I'm not like, I'm just gonna say it as it is. So hard to answer that question because I don't know my scent. So I'm like spicy. What kind? It depends too. It depends on time of the day.
I'm going to say Bengal spice tea.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that
you should try Bengal spice. I think that's exactly who you are.
Yeah.
It's a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy, has a really nice finish.
Yeah.
Bengal spice tea.
Oh, thank you. I'll try that.
Okay. Katrina, thank you so much for being a guest on the Return of Life podcast. So many incredible things that you shared, nuggets, from your personality, the person you are, spirituality, business, just the whole gamut. So I want to really thank you for being an incredible guest.
No, thank you for having me. I mean, I'm so honored. I'm like, I don't know if I can live up to, but I said, you know what? God has a plan. God brought you together so that you can have this share from your heart.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Listeners, thank you for listening in to Katrina Amurao, Katrina and the team on Return of Life podcast. Listen to this. You'll love it, and we appreciate you. Click the link below to join us as a subscriber to the podcast.